Hello friend, this is Ryan Hicks of TaughtToProfit.com, and today I want to talk to you about how God does exceeding abundantly above all that we ask or think. Now the passage I'm referring to is Ephesians 3:20, which says, "Now unto him that is able to do exceeding abundantly above all that we ask or think, according to the power that worketh in us." Now you notice the passage actually says, "Unto him that is able to do." Now, no one argues God's ability to do whatever and anything we could possibly imagine. He could do greater than that. Nobody argues that. But the statement I'm making is that God does exceeding abundantly above all that we ask or think. And then the question to ask yourself is, why is God not doing that in your life? Because if you don't see in your life God doing above what you've asked, exceeding abundantly above what you've asked or thought, and I talk to a lot of people, and a lot of them will admit that that's not their life, that they can't say that God is doing that, then why isn't He? It's one thing to just proclaim that God can do something, but why isn't He doing that in your life? Now, part of it may be the verse right before that, which says, "And to know the love of Christ, which passeth knowledge, that ye may be filled with all the fullness of God." Until you're walking in that consciousness of being filled with all the fullness of God, to know the love of Christ, and that love is shed abroad in your heart, and you're filled with all the fullness of God, it's hard to get to that position to where you can receive exceeding abundantly above all that you ask or think. But I think that one of the keys is that many people stop themselves from receiving this. And you may say, well, why? I would never do that. I would never stop myself from receiving huge, abundant blessings from God. But I hear people consistently talking about how, well, I had this idea to do this thing, but I didn't do it. Or I had this idea come to mind, but that seems like it's going to be too hard. And what they don't realize is that oftentimes there are these little tiny ideas from God coming into their hearts, and they're not going with it. They're questioning, they're second guessing, they're doubting. And we're not talking about crazy things. We're talking about just, it would be a good idea to start this business. Or I need to call this person over here. I haven't talked to them in years. And these little divine inspirations that people don't follow. And they don't know the countless blessings and abundance in their lives that they would have received had they followed those leadings. And as the scripture says, many are led by the Spirit of God. They are the sons of God. You need to follow this leading. And it's there and it's present every day, throughout your day. And unfortunately, people are conditioned to ignore it, to treat it as if it's just some other random thought floating in their head. And you have to get yourself to a position of being able to receive these thoughts, these intuitions, so to speak, and then move on them, act on them. God will never force you. And the thoughts that feel like they're forced, you're being forced to do these things, or it's something that feels like pressured, that's not what I'm talking about. These are the still small voice of God leading you into good things, leading you down the path of righteousness, leading you to glory. And while we wish we could be just forced and pushed to do these things, it is just really light. His burden is light, His yoke is easy. Really, really light influences to do these things and not pressured. So today my encouragement to you is to really stop and listen. What is God showing you that you could do, and how can these things move you to receive exceeding abundantly above all that you ask or think? My friend, I pray this is a blessing for you. May God bless you richly.